Have you ever felt like your life is 10 times harder than everyone else's? Have you ever felt like you're doing the game of life backwards? Welcome, fellow heart travelers. My name is Christopher Box, and this is an introduction to a video that I did 5 months ago in the winter. And the video is titled Taking the Long Way Around. So you're getting to see an introduction to a video about a video taking the long way around. So I love the irony of what that actually means. I feel that sometimes in life it's okay to take the long way around, and especially if you're a non-linear person, which I definitely identify as non-linear, and I'm certain that you are non-linear as well. That's kind of why you're here. So Christopher has some things he wants to share with you, and a little side note, there's a little bit of an emotional moment at the end, and that's just a nice way of saying that this is a place where we do feelings and emotions. So this is set in behind my house in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, on a beautiful snowy day this last winter. So without further ado, let's pop on over and hear what Christopher from the past has to say about taking the long way around. So here we go. Today's theme is going to be about taking the long way around. I wrote this excerpt from a song by the Dixie Chicks, or the Chicks, and this is actually by Natalie Maines. So I thought I'd start off by reading this to you. So, well, I fought with a stranger and I met myself. I opened my mouth and I heard myself. It can get pretty lonely when you show yourself. There have been many times I could have made it easier on myself, but I could never follow. I never seem to do it like anybody else, and if you ever want to find me, I can still be found taking the long way around. This song came out in 2006, and I immediately loved it, because I definitely relate with taking the long way around. I think some of us are kind of built to take the long way around. I certainly feel that way. And a lot of times, you know, you don't really fully understand or realize that until you're kind of in the middle of doing it. We have been in Eureka for about 2.5 years now. And I love it here. And equally, it has been a lot more challenging than I expected. It feels like I'm at a place where there is a part of me that is expanding and growing, and there's another part of me that is trying to play catch up. And a lot of times that manifests as anxiety and just feeling like I don't know where I'm going. You know, and then I'll have these moments where everything aligns and I spontaneously and suddenly remember who I am. And I feel like that is probably one of the hardest things to understand when you're first starting your awakening journey, if you will. So I think some of us were born with I call it like a Jiminy Cricket in your heart. My heart has always known the answer. And then there's always been a part of me that has wanted to deviate from that knowing, that love, that understanding of, like, as a child, I didn't need to have people tell me what was right. I kind of already knew it. And then in my teens, I experimented with that, and I had a swift course correction that would often happen, that really kind of brought me into the awareness of the path I should be on. I'm saying this today about taking the long way around. You know, like, I am often very hard on myself about just trying to be like everyone else. And that's a broad blanket statement. It just means that I have my own special way of doing things. You know, like everything from the timing of how I want and need to have my schedule for my body. Like, I'm not a morning person. It takes a while for me to download into this body, if you will. And it goes against the grain of how the world operates. So I wanted to make this video for the people who are out there that are dancing and playing to their own drum, if you will, because it's not easy. And the truth of it is that it's not supposed to be. I feel like that for those of us who are taking the long way around, there's a lot of lessons in that. There's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of triumph and tragedy. But I feel like the moral of the story, if you will, is to remember that you're always on the right path. And everybody gets to go home. So during these tumultuous times, extend yourself and the people around you grace. I really like the word grace. Grace implies that it is not logic, it is not reason, it is not A plus B equals C. It is a word from the heart. It is definitely non-linear. So as we continue to expand and grow as humans, especially right now, that grace is the one thing that I feel like as a human collective that we can do a bit better on. Because the truth is, in order to know who you are, you have to know who you are not.